Hey everyone, so our topic for today is about practical research, specifically in nature of inquiry and research. So every day, you encountered various problems in any facet of life, be it social, political, environmental, and personal. It may link between persons, group, or organizations. So in this case, there must be a solution not only to resolve it, but can be a progress that everybody benefited from it. As a learner, how can you find a solution to these problems that is based on knowledge, not on ordinary beliefs, predictions, or theories? You need to have their knowledge through organized and well-planned procedures that are accurate and useful. Thus, you need to do a research. Research is asking what you know and think. It helps us to inquire on the right information. It is a great importance to man in everyday life because the quality of man's life is improved through research, making it easier and valuable from simple to modern. Research develop you to an attitude to not believe everything easily available and seek for truth. Research sharpens our mind to give a judicious vision to look. It is a catalyst in solving complex issues in different sectors, including health, communications, IT, business, and the environment. The intended learning outcomes, no, that is actually this content is coming from the Department of Education. So at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to share research experiences and knowledge, explain the importance of research in daily life, describe characteristics, processes, and ethics of research, differentiate quantitative from qualitative research, and provide example of research in areas of interest. Okay, so the lesson 1 is all about the importance of research in daily life. Of course, in your junior high school, you learn that research is essential knowing that it is used in your daily life. It will enable you to inquiry and research in finding solutions to problems, especially in real-life situations. Sharing your experiences and knowledge on the importance of research develop your skills to think critically and relate it in every decision you do. So, maybe we need to define what is research. Research is defined as the scientific investigation of phenomena, which includes collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of facts that lines an individual's speculation with reality. Number 2, solution to problems must be based on knowledge, not on mere beliefs, guesses, or theories. Number 3, in research, a systematic and well-planned procedure is required to meet the need in order that information is acquired and evaluate its accuracy and effectiveness. And it is a process of inquiring. Research is, as I mentioned, is a systematic and exhaustive inquiry, investigation, or experimentation with the aim of finding new facts or knowledge in explaining the problems associated with our day-to-day relations with our environment, either social, natural, political, economics, or physical, to come up with working solutions in facing them. It deals in bridging in something new or novel through analytical reasoning, which the product is an organized knowledge. Nature of inquiry. Inquiry is defined as seeking for truth, information, or knowledge. It is a problem-solving technique. The information and data pursued through questioning begins with gathering by applying the different human senses. Individuals carry on the process of inquiry from birth till death. And inquiry is synonymous with the word investigation. So how about investigation and immersion? Investigation has a deeper meaning compared to inquiry. It is a systematic examination of a certain event or phenomenon, while immersion is a process whereby a researcher immerses, deeply involves of course, himself in a data gathering activities, and the data he has gathered is carefully read or examined by him in detail. So how will be able to differentiate inquiry from research? Inquiry is a term that is synonymous with the word investigation. When you inquire or investigate, you tend to ask questions to prove or examine something to request for truth, information, or knowledge. On the other hand, research is systematic and objective creation of knowledge, systematic, with a system or method, or that's the scientific method. Objective, of course, no bias, all angles presented, and knowledge creation. This is a creative process. Purpose of research: to inform action, of course, to prove or generate a theory. Of course, we need to prove or to generate a new theory, or to prove a theory. To augment knowledge in a field of study. So it depends upon to your field of study. Importance of research in daily life. Research directs us to inquire about the right information by conducting further investigation of the actual condition. So, same at present, we have pandemic, right? Research empowers us with knowledge and discovers new things in issues in life. So, of course, if we want to discover new things or new issues in life, it is also important for us to do research. Research facilitates learning as an opportunity to share valuable information to others as a way of recognizing various concerns for public awareness. And this will be the references for our lesson 1. As I mentioned earlier, this presentation is getting from the Department of Education of the Republic of the Philippines actually. Now, for lesson 2, it focuses on the characteristics of processes and ethics of research. Research is a process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information to answer questions. Because a good research follows processes that must have certain characteristics. It must be specific, controlled, rigorous, valid, and verifiable, empirical, and critical. To avoid unethical practices, researchers had obligation to adhere professional standards in conducting research. Thus, to consider a research writing ethical, it must be clear, accurate, just, and authentic. In the previous lesson, of course, in lesson 1, you learned the meaning of research and its importance in your daily life. Because research is different from inquiry, as I mentioned a while ago. When you inquire or investigate, you tend to ask questions to prove or examine something to request for truth, information, or knowledge. So the importance of research helps improve life as well as finding a solution to problems through reliable and validated information. So, what are the characteristics of research? Number 1, empirical. Research is based on direct experience or observation by the researcher. Number 2, logical. Research is based on valid procedures and principles. So, we need to follow the procedures and principle that is logical. For cyclical, research is cyclical process because it starts with a problem and ends with a problem at the same time. Analytical. Research utilizes proven analytical procedures in gathering the data, whether historical, descriptive, and experimental, and case study. Number 5 is critical. Research exhibit careful and precise judgment, of course, for us to have a reliable research. Methodical. Research is conducted in a methodical manner without bias, using systematic method and procedures. And replicability. The research design and procedures are replicated or repeated to enable the researcher to arrive at valid and conclusive results. The 7 steps of the research process. Okay? Step 1, define and develop your topic. That is for the research problem. What are the factors to consider in selecting a research problem? Number 1, researcher's area of interest. So as much as possible, your research must be your area of interest. Availability of funds, of course. So for example, if your research is focused for the entire Philippines, maybe it's too costly. So therefore, you just try to consider the availability of funds. Investigators' ability in training. So what will be your capability in doing that research or study? Step 2, find background information about your chosen topic. That is through review of related literature. Step 3, plan your research design including your sample or your target participants or the methodology. Number 4, or step 4, gather necessary data using open-ended question. Open-ended question for qualitative research, of course. In close-ended questionnaire or paper pencil test questionnaire for quantitative research. And that is under the data gathering activities. Step 5, process and analyze data using thematic analysis. That is for qualitative research, and statistical tools for quantitative research. Again, thematic analysis for qualitative and the statistical tools for quantitative. Step 6, formulate new insights gained for qualitative research and conclusion for quantitative research and recommendations. And number 7, you must define a new problem. Okay, so how about ethics in research? Research ethics are guidelines for the responsible conduct of research which educates and monitors researchers to ensure high standard. It promotes the aim of research such as expanding knowledge and support the values required for collaborative work such as mutual respect and fairness. The ethical consideration in conducting research are objectivity and integrity, respect of the research subjects' right to privacy and dignity, and protection of subjects from personal harm, presentation of research findings, misuse of research rule, acknowledgement of research collaborations and assistance, and of course, distortions of findings by a sponsor. So what are these ethics in research? So as what we have here, informed consent. This is required to secure in order to protect the rights of the participants in your study. Inform your participants about the criteria set for choosing them as informants and the schedule of one-on-one interview at the convenient time they are available. Participation to the study will be completely voluntary. Number 2, honesty. It report data, results, methods and procedures, and publication status. Do not fabricate, falsify, and misrepresent the data. Number 3, objectivity. Avoid bias in experimental design, data analysis, data interpretation, peer review, personnel decisions, grant writing, expert testimony, and other aspects of research. You must be objective at all times. Integrity. Keep your promises and agreements. Act with sincerity. Strive for consistency of thought and actions. Number 5, carefulness. Avoid careless errors and negligence. Carefully and critically examine your work and the work of peers. Keep good records of research activities. Number 6, openness. You share data, results, ideas, tools, and resources. Be open to criticism and new ideas. Next, respect for intellectual property. Honor patents, copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets, and other forms of intellectual property. Do not use published or unpublished data methods or results without permission. Give credit where credit is due. Never plagiarize, fabricate, and falsify. 8. Confidentiality. Protect confidential communications such as papers or grants submitted for publication, personal records, trade or military secrets, and patient records. 9. Responsible mentoring. Help to educate, mentor, and advise others. Promote their welfare and allow them to make their own decisions. 9. Number 10, responsible publication. Publish in order to advance research and scholarship, not to advance your own career. Avoid wasteful and duplicative publication. Respect for colleagues. Respect your colleagues' opinion. Treat them fairly and do not outsmart others. Social responsibility. Strive to promote social acceptance and prevent or mitigate social harms through research, publication, or public education and advocacy. Non-discrimination. Avoid discrimination against colleagues or students on the basis of sex, race, ethnicity, or other factors that are not related to their scientific competence and integrity. 14. Competence. Maintain and improve your own professional competence and expertise through lifelong education and learning. Take steps to promote competence in science as a whole. Legality. Know and obey relevant laws and institutional and government policies. Animal care. Show proper respect and care for animals when using them in research. Do not conduct unnecessary or poorly designed animal experiments. And number 17, human subjects protection. When conducting a research on a human subjects, minimize harms and risks and maximize benefits. Respect human dignity, privacy, and anonymity. The rights of research participants. Number 1 is human rights. They are moral principles or norms that describe certain standards or behavior and are regularly protected as natural and legal rights. They constitute a set of rights and duties necessary for the protection of human dignity inherent to all human beings. Intellectual property. It protects creation of the mind, which have both a moral and a commercial value. Copyright infringement. It is the use or production of copyright-protected materials without permission of the copyright holder. Copyright infringement means that the rights accorded to the copyright holder, such as exclusive use of a work for a set period of time, are breached by a third party. Example, downloading movies and music without proper payment for use, recording movies in a theater, using other photographs for a blog without permission, copying software code without giving proper credit, and creating videos with unlicensed music clips. Voluntary participation. People must not be coerced into participating in research process. Essentially, this means that prospective research participants must be informed about the procedures and risks involved in research and must give their consent to participate. Anonymity. It is the protection of people's identity through not disclosing their name or not exposing their identity. It is a situation in data gathering activities in which informant's name is not given nor known. The privacy. It is someone's right to keep his personal matters and relationships secret. It is the ability of an individual to seclude him from disturbance of any research activity. The ethical standards in research writing. Research misconduct includes fabrication, falsification, or plagiarism. It doesn't include honest error of differences of opinion. It can erode trust between researchers and funding agencies, which make it more difficult for colleagues at the same institution to receive grants. The plagiarism refers to the act of using another person's ideas, work, processes, and results work without giving due credit. It should not be tolerated as the unauthorized use of original works a violation of intellectual property rights. The three different acts are considered plagiarism: failure to cite quotations and borrowed ideas, failure to enclose borrowed language in quotation marks, and failure to put summaries and paraphrases in your own words. And this will be the references from the Practical Research 1 of Department of Education, Philippines. Lesson 3. Quantitative and qualitative research. Okay? So research has two broad methodologies. We have qualitative research and quantitative research. Quantitative and qualitative researches are complementary methods that you can combine in your research studies to get results that are both wide-reaching and profound. To get the best results from these methods in your research, it's important that you understand the difference between them, which you will study in this lesson number 3. So, when to use qualitative versus quantitative research? Quantitative data can help you see the big picture. That is quantitative data. On the other hand, qualitative data adds the details and can also give a human voice to your survey results. So, as what we have here, so research, of course, what are the two types of design? That is qualitative and quantitative. So, for qualitative, we have ethnography, grounded theory, case study, discourse analysis, phenomenology, historical research, and narrative report. For biography, we have scholarly chronicle, intellectual biography, life history writing, memoir bibliography, and narrative bibliography. For quantitative research, we have experimental and non-experimental. For the experimental research, we have pre-experimental, true experimental, and quasi-experimental. For non-experimental research, that is a survey research actually, descriptive, comparative, and correlational research. For the action research, of course, that is either qualitative or quantitative. So this will be the difference. For example, if your research is objective, so for qualitative, it aims at to create a new theory based on the gathered data. For the quantitative, the purpose is to test a hypothesis or theory. For data description, that is natural setting. For quantitative, that is measurement setting, and others. For sample size, for sample, small judgment by decision sampling for qualitative. And of course, large sample representatives of population for quantitative. For data gathering, of course, unstructured or semi-structured or flexible process for qualitative. And for quantitative, standardized or structured. For activities, we have inductive and deductive. So, then for data discussion and presentation, use both inductive and deductive. They are not mutually exclusive with each other in research. Because inductive method or bottom-up is used if the researcher starts discussion from the lowest and highest mean, then explain the overall mean. While deductive or top-down, if discussion is from the overall mean, going to the lowest and highest means, that is deductive. Then for opinions are based on experience or observation. For the other one is opinion are based on laws, rules, or other recognized principles. For data analysis, synthesize data, interpret thematic, but in quantitative, that is statistical. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, based on our lesson 1 discussion, qualitative is subjective, but quantitative is objective. For outcome, the qualitative cultivates understanding with high validity. There are no conclusion formulated for qualitative. But for quantitative, endorse a development has high output replicability. Conclusion is formulated towards the end of the research process. Okay, so this will be the references for lesson number 3. And thank you very much for this content from the Department of Education, Republic of the Philippines. Okay, we will proceed to lesson 4, the kinds of research across fields. Developing an interest in different kinds of research will help you look into something that affects your personality or your life in some important way. If you are interested in a topic you are researching, you will enjoy reading and learning about it. To define clearly the types of research in areas of interest you want to embark, focus your scientific skills, your passion and ideas. Each support you to connect to your career path. The example of research in areas of interest will lead you to choose a specific topic of your research study, which you will be exploring to create new knowledge. Kinds of research across fields. So for arts-based research, personal expression in various art forms is used as a primary mode of inquiry. So example, the role of arts in student achieving in reading, or how classroom artistic structure motivates learning. For research in humanities, it deals with human culture such as philosophy, religion, literature, linguistics, and history. It includes ancient and modern languages, human geography, laws, politics, and other social sciences. Example, various education in the public school, practices and challenges. Children in conflict with the law, a resolution and intervention. For sports research, it's intended for athletes to endure their health and wellness goals through proven high-quality products. It helps the coaches and athletes to access information and apply it to develop programs and techniques in sport. Example, student involvement in athletics and their academic performance. Sports and fitness support on students in public schools. Next, science research. It focuses on discover laws, postulates, theories that can explain natural or social phenomena. It applies a systematic and constructed scientific method to obtain, analyze, and interpret data. A strong and testable hypothesis is the fundamental part of the scientific research. Example, utilization of garbage and other waste resources as cleaning materials, making of diseases, cure out of heat transfer, and for mathematics research, provides mathematics mastery topics and help develops confidence and interest to solve more mathematical problems. Example, student difficulties in general mathematics, remediation, and intervention. It may also assist to find new methods to simplify calculations. Example, a systematic approach to changing classroom practices for enhancing mathematics outcomes. Number 6, agriculture research. Improves productivity and quality of crops, irrigation, storage method, effective farm management, and marketing of agricultural resources. Or, agriculture is the backbone of the economic system providing food, raw material, and employment opportunities. So, example, green space in school, social and environment perspective. Another example is urban gardening as a source of well-being. Okay, for fisheries research. Increase the productivity and management of the fishery resources to provide food, protect and maintain different bodies of water for sustainable supply of aquatic resources. Example, finding a future, sustaining inland fishery. Fishing for change, fishery policy in the Philippines. For information and communication technology research, aim to adapt current technology advancement which enhances development of resources. Example, the role of ICT in the new normal education. Number 2, exploring the interactive computer simulation in public schools. 9. Business research. Acquire information in business to maximize the sales and profit. It aids business companies regulate which product or service is most profitable or in demand. Example, developing a framework for a small-scale business. Or, another example, business practices and strategies of small enterprises at Abante Small. And number 10, the social science research. It finds solution for human behavior, gathering information about people and societies. So, example, the impact of a pandemic on employment opportunities. Number 2, implementation of enhanced community quarantine in low-risk area of Manila. And this will be the references for our lesson 4. So, thank you for watching. If you have some questions or comments, do not hesitate to post your question or in a comment box. Thank you and God bless everyone.